name is Larry Steinhaus, and welcome to Is Your Business For Real? This is a show in which we help new or struggling business owner with their business. As we explore their new or struggling business, we will give them practical business ideas, tips, and ways to improve their bottom line. We will also help them determine, well, if their business is for real or if they should start to rethink the idea of their business. As a serial entrepreneur, I have experienced both businesses that have succeeded and have failed. I'm here to share some of the many lessons that I've learned along the way. Along with my expertise, each episode will also have a special guest expert as we together help the business owner determine, is your business for real? Our guest expert today is Rich Geitz. Rich is the owner of a local Sandler Business Systems franchise. Rich is an expert salesman and talented coach with over 25 years of sales management, and business development experience. He has led successful sales efforts in the highly competitive technology and software fields, spanning IBM national accounts, enterprise resource planning software, business application software, e-learning systems, and data quality management services. In his last corporate assignment, he served as Director of North American Sales for a young data quality software company, closing contracts at Daly Investments, Ing America, and the U.S. Secret Service, among others. Rich's sales record encompasses a wide spectrum of products ranging from $18 supplies to $20 million computer systems. He has handled complex sales negotiations and presentations and developed regional markets. Whether working individually or leading a team, Rich has excelled in the sales arena. The proof is in his numbers. Out of the last 22 years, or actually the last 20 years on quota, he succeeded quota for over 18 of those 22 years, and for 7 of those, he or his team achieved a leadership position. Throughout his career, Rich has mastered and implemented numerous sales methodologies, but has encountered none as comprehensive or effective as the Sandler selling system. He has now directed his talents and passions towards training other professionals in Sandler's powerful methods. In addition to his extensive experience and insight into the world of sales, Rich brings with him a lifelong love of coaching that includes 4 years as a professional tennis coach and many years coaching his son's baseball and soccer teams. Our guest business owner today is Mike Daly, and he is the owner of BAM Waterproofing Company. BAM Waterproofing is a local basement restoration and waterproofing company. Mike is on our show today to see if he can learn some practical methods to increase his sales and his bottom line. So Mike, tell us a little bit more about BAM Waterproofing and what you do.
Well, Larry, I've been doing residential construction for 20 years now, and BAM Waterproofing is a local residential waterproofing company, and we basically fix water problems, water penetration problems, and repair of any subsequent damage that is caused by those type of problems.
So like if there's a flood or something and water comes into my basement, you would get the water out and you'd also fix the basement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So how do you currently market your business and sell your business?
Well, we use all the media that we can get our hands on. We send out direct mail. We use local advertising. We advertise on the internet and the radio. Awesome.
And how's that working so far?
Good.
Excellent. Great. So now we have a sales expert for you here. This is great. This is a great day, right?
It's a great day.
So what would you say would be one of the best things that you can do, that you feel that you can do to increase your business or your bottom line?
Well, first of all, take Rich's advice, whatever he gives me, and always keep it fresh. I think one of the most important things is to try to, be the leader of the pack, so to speak, and not sit around and wait for an opportunity, kind of make the opportunities happen.
So I'm curious, and I bet you're going to love this question. Do you know your closing ratio?
No.
Okay, do you know what a closing ratio is?
Yes, indeed.
Good. At least that's good. Okay, good. And I'm telling you, I'm a big fan of knowing my numbers. Mm-hmm. We just went to a networking meeting. I just came back from one, and we were just talking about that. It was amazing. We were talking about knowing your numbers, know mm-hmm. how many people you need to talk to close a sale, et cetera, mm-hmm. et cetera, and then you know where it is to go from there. Mm-hmm. So it's something good to know. So tell me a little bit about your sales process, and then I'm going to hand it over to Rich, but I'm trying to figure out where we are. So someone calls in your office, mm-hmm. and they speak to a secretary, they speak to an answering service. How do they get to you?
They speak to a live secretary who is not just expert in secretarial skills, but actually very a lot of knowledge in the line of business that we're in. So a lot of customers will call us and ask us questions that can be answered right on the phone. And I think it's imperative that the phone call gets handled the proper way, because that's the start of business for us.
Are they trained by you, or are they trained?
They're trained by us. Yeah.
Okay, so they're trained in waterproofing techniques.
Yep.
How you? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All the techniques, all the language that is spoken, and how to handle a call, potential customer, potential client.
Any formal training, or it's just basically by you?
We hope that when somebody is looking for an opportunity to work for us, that they have formal training in the job that we list for hire. But in the meantime, we also we train them as well as we can to meet our expectations.
How many people are in that position right now? Is it more
Currently,
than one?
we have 2 secretaries working full time.
Have they been there a long time?
Yeah, 3
That's
years.
a plus.
Each secretary has had 3 years of experience with our company, and they both have prior experience that they bring forward.
So customer calls in, they get the secretary, they answer questions.
Do you want more traffic for your business, but only have a small advertising budget? Do you want your customer to pick you over your competitor every time? Have you heard that video is the #1 way to get in front of your customers? MallStars makes videos for any budget. They have business videos starting at under $100. Call MallStars at 215-393-1577 or visit our video website at www.mallstars.tv.
Now I'm curious to know, I'm actually really curious to know if that secretary is trained in any sales techniques, closing techniques, what they do next with that call, if they're told what to do, to get phone numbers, emails, that kind of thing.
Yes, the secretaries would normally handle a call the same way I would handle a call, with all the expertise that I have in the field. And one of the most important things in our business is that when somebody calls in, that they're satisfied with the answers that the secretary gives, and most important, that they know somebody from our company is coming. In a very timing is very important. That from the time the call comes in to the time that one of our experts or myself is coming out to assess why they called us in the first place, we have a pretty good idea before we even get there.
How many experts or salespeople do you have?
I go out and estimate the jobs, and I have a full-time salesman and a part-time salesman, and we're hoping to increase that.
So I'm actually going to turn this over to Rich. I'll tell you why, because I'd like to see what Rich's take is on the sales process so far that he's heard so far, and also what to find out what questions he's going to ask to find out what you're doing so far. Because we've gotten pretty far, and I'm actually pretty impressed so far that he actually is doing some of the right things.
Yeah.
That makes one
a lot
of
of
us.
the right things.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah. So thanks, Larry. I guess to start out, I'm just curious, how's business?
Business is good, but I would be more satisfied if business was better. But I can't complain.
About how much better?
Well, I would like to quadruple business, and the reason why I say that is because there is room in my industry where I'm at, where I've been and where I want to go to. I have a deep history in this business, and I'm sure that I can gauge it that way. That I'm comfortable, but I would love to quadruple business.
So there's a belief on your part that a business is out there, the opportunity is there. There's a belief that you know how to execute. You can do the work, do the service in a highly professional manner. Then the question is, what's the model that you need to have that's going to get you to 3 times? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And in that, what are the kind of the best practices? And that was what I think Larry was kind of alluding to. Best practices as far as answering the phone, when first contact with a prospect or customer. What happens? Sounds like you're doing. First of all, having a live person. I can't stress enough how important that is. My hat's off to you, because so many businesses these days, you get a voice message, and then it's phone tag, and maybe a day or two, you get frustrated, you call somebody else, and so that's a tremendous approach, is to use somebody who's live, trained. They're asking good questions. I would certainly. Let me ask you another question, though. If you could change one or two things within your process, can you think of a couple of things that if you could change it, if you had that proverbial magic wand and you could just make it happen, that would dramatically improve or significantly improve your sales? What would that be?
I don't think the initial phone calls are lacking. In other words, everybody's doing their diligence there. I think when the call comes in and we respond to it properly and we respond it promptly, I think that is working. I think from that point, when we get out to where we call the rubber meets the road, and we're actually out getting into the sales call to see what we can do to help, because we're declared as being in a solution business. So getting there and being definitively the best decision for the people who called us. If we could work on that, and that all has to do with me being able to communicate all the years of experience I have and all the experience that our technicians have, in a short period of time.
Right.
And be able to give people a definitive knowledge and know that they're making a decision that they're not making any errors by bringing us on.
Okay, good.
I think that's where I think if we can increase that and make our customers even more satisfied with the result before we even get to actually come and do the job.
Right.
That's
set the expectation. They're very comfortable that you're going to get it done and do it very well and really solve the issue.
Yeah, because it for me it's imperative to do that, but we need to get a chance to do that in the first place.
So do you feel that you're not getting in front of enough customers, or do you feel when you get in front of the customers you're not closing enough sales? Which one is it? Or both?
I would say a little of both. I want to get in front of more customers, and I also want to have that opportunity, and not let anybody get away, so to speak. If someone calls us and it's qualified, which we do in our office when the call initially takes place, then they know that they need our service, and there's no doubt after that. So if we can increase that, and then we call it in our business from form to finish, from the initial call to when the job's completed, and we're anxiously waiting for our customers, our satisfied customers, to refer us to other business. That's the.
Are you primarily residential?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a lot of experience, but the main scope of work for us is going to be the residential arena.
So typically, if you went out to 100 homes to talk to them about issues that you can solve, how many would sign up? How many would go with you?
A lot less than we would hope for 100 potential clients. But I would say that I think that we're hovering in that at least half of our customers that we go out to on those 100 calls. So I'm going to put a number on it, because
so you're getting around 50.
We're getting 50 people to react and at least know that we provide the solution. And we come and execute and do a great job.
And what would you like that number to be?
I can't afford to have any of our customers that are specifically calling us for our specific expertise to go away. And I present this every time I go to a customer. They call us because they have a legitimate need for our company. We do that all day. And for them to say, I think I'm going to let it go, for now. I'm going to put it on the back burner, even though it was on the front burner and stayed on the front burner until I actually came out and they said, okay, we understand you're the expert, but we're going to let it go.
Right.
I really would like to have a lot more favor.
So if that was 90 or 90 plus
That's
out
right.
of 100, that would be good.
That's right. I can't see it not doing anything but at least doubling our business with the amount of customers we go out to see.
Yeah.
If you can get somebody to close 95 to 100%, I'll hire you tomorrow.
Okay, what are we going to do? Seriously,
I'm listening
when
to this
you,
going,
when
there's
you
no
go
way anybody
into
can
a
do that.
home and you're requested in a home, your close rate should be at least 80%.
Yeah. I would say,
and it could well be 90%, 95%. That's really feasible. Yes.
I'm amazed. I'm there. I'm there, right there with you.
Okay, I learned something today.
Yeah.
And when I say should, I mean there's always going to be people where you get there and it just, boy, it wasn't what you understood it to be over the phone. Mm-hmm. There was some miscommunication or something like that happened. Mm-hmm. But when people have a legitimate issue that you can fix, and they're getting you out there in front of them, you're in their home, that's a great opportunity. But it's an interesting phenomenon happens, because if you were, or you know, many times you're going out and making some of these calls, right? Mm-hmm. Do you consider yourself, when you get in there, do you consider yourself a salesman, or are you an expert in your business?
I consider myself an expert in my business, but I also am in the reality of that I could be the best expert in my business in the whole state or in the whole country, but if I can't sell my expertise, I can't do the job. So it's a chicken egg for me. I struggle with that.
Well, the phenomenon that occurs is the moment you're in their house talking to them about what you do, and there's money involved, a service, you're now a sales guy. That's right. And the whole perspective of what's coming out of your mouth and what you're saying, and it changes because now you got a sales hat on. Okay. And right or wrong, we all carry the baggage of what the expectation of a salesperson is. Sort of that, the stereotype, if you will, of sales. We know that's not you. May not be me, it's not Larry, but that's the baggage that we carry. People never quite sure. Is this really true? Is it totally accurate? Is the person saying something because then I'll spend more money than I need to? Is it, they said a 20-year warranty. Is that legit? All those kinds of things happen. And people, there's a little doubt. There's maybe a little skepticism. And that's, we call that the buyer-seller dance. Okay. So the moment you're in their house wanting to get them to sign a contract for your services, you're now a seller. And their perspective changes a little bit. They still may view you as, hey, you're very good at what you do. You're an expert in your service, but you're also in sales. And all of a sudden, it changes a little bit. So how do, the next question often is, well, I don't want to be seen as that, because that's hard. If people are seeing me as a salesperson, as a stereotypical salesperson, kind of that standard, that's not the message I want to get across, right? You want to be there to say, hey, we've got an excellent solution. We're going to provide something that's going to, you're going to be very happy with. How do you change is the question. How do you come off as the consultant, as the expert, not as that stereotype sales guy? And the short form of that is it's all in the questions. Okay. Versus what you tell them. Many, many times people think, well, if I could only had a better way to convince them, if I only could tell them my message more eloquently, if I was more golden-throated, silver-tongued, and really could say it, that would be the answer. It's not. In fact, the more eloquent sometimes you are, the more they're, oh man, this is too good to be true. Guy's too smooth. Have you ever heard that? Sometimes you hear somebody, or they're too smooth. So, stepping back from that, it's often the questions that you ask.
Okay.
And thinking about, because, as well as your mindset. Your mindset is, I wonder if we have a fit here. I wonder if the problem they have and the money they have to spend to fix it is something that indeed I can fix for that amount. Does this make sense? Do we have a good fit? If not, hey, I'm going to get in my car and go home. I'm okay with that. But if we do, I want to move ahead. Right?
Yes.
And that sometimes different mindset can help you to ask more questions, different questions. So, questions such as, just tell me about the situation. How long has it been going on? What else have you tried to do to fix it? Hey, if you don't fix it, so what? How important is that? So, kind of thinking about, boy, if I could get more questions out, then all of a sudden people are looking at you like, wow, nobody's asked me that before. They really care about me. They care about my situation. They're not just trying to sell me. They're not just trying to, give me a pitch. Because people don't want to be sold. They want to buy. They want to get that solution, but they don't want to be sold. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense.
The challenge is kind of adjusting to that. Kind of thinking through what can we do, not only you, but your team, to help get those messages across. What kinds of questions can we ask? I'm sure you ask a lot of good questions, but sometimes you said you've been doing it for a long time. You can probably anticipate a lot of, you can probably just glance around the place and anticipate a lot of the answers. The problem with that is it doesn't make the prospect any more comfortable. They don't know but if you ask them, then all of a sudden they're telling you what they're thinking. And they're the comfort level, the confidence that, hey, this is a service for me. Bam's the way to go.
So I'd imagine the fact that they're thinking it, just because they answered the question, it all of a sudden triggers something different. I have to tell you, I'm very pleased with what you say. I'm just my expectations of every show is always different, and that's part of the reason why it's an ad hoc show. But I never would have expected those answers from you. They're fantastic, and they're brilliant answers. I almost thought that from what Mike was going to say was you would have talked to him about actual questions and qualifying and the sales process. But you've actually just explained it in a way that everyone can understand it, and it makes absolute total sense. It's fantastic.
Good.
Now I'm curious about something because I'm listening to that, and I'm thinking about the last guy who came to my house that was going to sell me aluminum siding, and he had a book, and he takes out his book, and he opens to page 1, and in the book he tells me everything on that page, and I have to tell you that the 4 guys, they all had a book. They were all different. They were completely different books, but they all had a book. Now, first of all, I'm curious, do you do that?
Not traditionally, but I'm an advocate of having a book.
Okay.
I mentioned that I have a book, and I kind of don't start with the book. I start with, help is on the way, here I am, and then roll my sleeves up and see what I can do to help. And then after I make an assessment, then I can say, okay, I figured it out. Now let's go and talk about how we do it, when we can do it, how much it costs, etc.
All right, I got to know. What do you think of the book?
I think the book's fine.
Okay.
But brought out at the right time.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Any suggestions on when you should bring it out?
Yeah.
Or maybe you already know. It almost sounds like you may know, but I'm curious.
Here's a thought. This is radical. You're probably not going to do it. I understand. I'm going to do it. Keep the book in the car.
Oh, that's interesting.
Come in with little or nothing. First of all, that's what we call a pattern interrupt. Because if they talk to anybody else, they probably had the book, they probably had, all the stuff here. Oh, here it is, here's my manual, here's the book. I don't have any of that. All of a sudden it's like, this guy's different. Hey, before maybe even you see the site and you kind of do your inspection, let's just talk for a couple of minutes. Got a couple of questions to ask you. You might have some questions for me. Wow, that's different. And that's when you just start it. Hey, what caused you to call me? Why are we here talking today or this evening or whenever it is. Tell me about it. And again, then, you know, it's how long has it been going on? What else have you tried to do? What's the impact of it? All those kinds of things. You know, have you really decided to do something? How do you feel about next time it rains and you're going to get 2 inches in your basement? How do you feel about that? And when you hear that they're really frustrated, that they're upset, that they're, you know, emotional about it, that's when they're serious. Because if they're just looking, if they're kicking tires, or you're the fifth one they've talked to, you typically don't get that.
Yeah.
You get more of the sense that, well, let me see what you have. How much is it? Tell me how much. You know, I need a proposal. You know, by tomorrow, that kind of thing. Hey, that's fine. I understand. Maybe we're not a good fit.
I don't even know what he's selling, but I want to buy from him right now.
But by keeping the book in the car, if you get to the point, and you can even tell them, look, I got a book. You look a little worried, maybe I don't have a book. I got the book, it's in the car. If you know, let's take half an hour, talk, I'll inspect the site and so forth. If we decide that we have a fit, I'll be glad to go out and get it, and then we can show, you know, we can look through it and everything. But you know what, if we don't have a fit, I don't want to see another book. You want to go through it. I mean, how anxious were you to see 4 or 5 books
absolutely.
on siding?
And I found it amazing that they were all different.
By the third one,
and
you're like, oh my God.
And some of them had Polaroids, some of them had great pictures. But I hate to do this, guys. I'm loving this. This is like I'm so into this conversation. I hate to do this, but time is up.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing. I mean, just listen. Wow.
Do you want more traffic for your business, but only have a small advertising budget? Do you want your customer to pick you over your competitor every time? Have you heard that video is the #1 way to get in front of your customers? MallStars makes videos for any budget. They have business videos starting at under $100. Call MallStars at 215-393-1577 or visit our video website at www.mallstars.tv.
You know, I don't even know if you got anything out of that.
I got a tremendous.
I
got a tremendous amount of knowledge, and I will apply it. The fact is, I think that what I picked up a few things here, and I only came in here and expected to just pick up one thing that I could take home and share with my customers. But I have a few things here that just, you know, it's all being absorbed, and I appreciate it.
You know, I just have to say, the one thing that was amazing too, and we're almost out of time, but the one thing that's amazing is the confidence level. You know, for you to walk in and say, hey, you know, I don't know if we're a good fit. I mean, that just, to say that, and to say that with strength and meaning, that person knows that you're there to help them. And if they don't want your help, hey, it's all right. You go find somebody else who has a better price. I'm not interested. You're going to get better help from me. You're going to get a better price from them. And that's so obvious how it comes across. Anyway, I'm Larry Steinhaus. We're here with Mike. We're here with Rich. And I have to tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that BAM Waterproofing is a real business. And actually, I was pretty impressed that he sounds like he's doing pretty well. And I really hope that the advice that Mike got from this show and the advice that you heard today will not only help Mike, but help you guys too. Look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Is Your Business For Real? And again, if you ever want to be on our show, feel free to email us at larry.steinhaus@mallstars.tv. That's my personal email. I will personally respond to you and invite you to the show. Thanks again.